Hi, my name is Robert. This video is designed to give you step-by-step detailed instructions on completing the task at hand. Please read the comments in the About section of this video. It has valuable information and updates. My YouTube channel has a disclaimer video that I encourage you to watch. And please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you found what you're looking for. Thank you very much for watching. Another fun-filled day with cleaning off a block. I do have my 2 pins in here, which is good. I do need to clean off this block material, and I see where number 2 is cleaner than the rest as far as it not having the dark carbon. I'm not going to be cleaning off pistons. Look, this one just wipes off, so it had oil on it, running rich or something. Anyway, I'm going to wipe these off, clean this stuff up with some acetone, use some gasket remover. To clean your block off, your first plan of attack is a cloth and gasket material remover. After that, whatever's left, you want to get something a little bit more aggressive. So you want to use a brass brush. That's your second level. Make sure you use a good quality brush because you don't want the bristles coming off and going in your engine somewhere. So I dip the end of the brush in a little bit of acetone, and then I rub the areas that still have gasket on there. Not too much pressure, but some pressure to get it cleaned off, and then I wipe it with the rag. See if all the gasket material's off. Wipe it with my finger, make sure it's smooth and no gasket materials left on there. Your next level of aggression is a steel brush. Those are normally stainless steel. They'll normally scratch the surface of your block. So you don't want to put a lot of pressure. You don't want to use them unless you have to. So let me touch this spot with my brass brush to see if it gets off that gasket material. So I put a little more acetone in my little dish there. I dip the brush in there. I go over to where the gasket material is, and I lightly brush it, taking my time. And as you can see, that gasket material is coming off. So you don't usually have to go more aggressive than that, but you know, a brass brush is normally pretty effective. Wipe it with the rag, rub it with your finger, make sure it's real smooth. If there's anything left, you can use a steel brush, being very careful not to push too hard, or lightly brush it with a razor blade, which you really don't want to do. So a brass brush and some acetone or gasket material remover is normally adequate to clean off the surface of your block and head. Use a good quality wire brush. You do not want to use a brush that the bristles come out of. That can cause a piece of wire to go in your engine crevice and you won't get it out. Dip it in a little bit of acetone and then lightly brush an area on the engine that you're trying to clean. So I'm not putting a lot of force on there. I'm just kind of lightly brushing that, and acetone evaporates pretty quick, so you want to kind of do that as quick as you can, and then wipe it off. Make sure you got all the gasket material off. But of course you want to use your razor blade as the last resort. I'm going over some of this block with a razor blade. And what you want to do, you want to make sure you have a real good razor blade, preferably new. Razor blades are stainless steel, so they're harder than most other metal material like this block, and stainless steel can scratch it. So you got to be real careful when you're trying to pull gasket material off with it. Same goes with wire brushes. Those silver looking ones are probably stainless steel brushes, and you don't want to scratch this up more than you have to. So I go on this angle like this and I lightly scrape, just trying to get the plastic off the gasket material, trying to make sure I don't cut into this metal, because if I do, I'm going to have scratches, and that's going to increase the chances of my head gasket leaking. So I'm just kind of doing like a gentle sawing motion, getting this gasket material off. I'm being as careful as I can not to scratch the block. And if you're going to use a razor blade, this might be the technique you use. And if it feels smooth, it's fine. If you feel the bump of the gasket material, that's where you need to get that stuff cleaned off some. So be gentle, take your time, don't rush it. It should feel very, very smooth when you're done. I am not concerned with stains. I'm concerned with getting the gasket material off and making sure it feels nice and smooth and doesn't have any gasket material left on there where I can feel it bump as I rub my finger across it. Your fingertip, hopefully it still has feeling in it, will be your best guide to know if your block is clean enough in the bottom of your head and so forth. I'm also going to be as careful as possible that I get as little foreign material as necessary into that block. I don't want to pour solvents in there. I don't want to get steel wool in there. Definitely don't want to get none of those Scotch-Brite pads. Keep those far away from here. And I don't want to get wire brush burrs, anything like that. I want to make sure I don't inject any foreign material into my block. If for some reason you want to try to clean off your piston heads, which I don't recommend, you can do the same thing with a brass brush. Those little notches in the piston heads are valve clearance, pre-marked things in the piston heads. Those were not put in there by valves at all. Come from the factory like that. I have the block as clean as I'm going to get it. And I want to encourage you guys, when you go to do a head gasket job, get this stuff off and back on as quick as you can. The longer it sits taken apart and stuff like that, the more difficult it's going to be for you to get all this stuff back together. Bolts missing, misplaced, all kind of weird stuff like that. Now that my block's cleaned up, I'm going to lay a towel or something over there until I'm ready to set the head in place. The bottom of your head should be ready because it was made true, unless you were messing around getting different solvents or stuff on there, messing with your valves. Really shouldn't have nothing to do on it. So I'm going to wipe the bottom of it off. I see a little bit of crud here and there from when I was fooling with the valves. I went over the bottom of my head with a brass brush and acetone and clean rag. The bottom line is I don't want nothing to be on the bottom of this head when I try to bolt it onto the block, any kind of substance that will stop my head gasket from sealing real good. My machine shop, when they finish these heads, is actually a little grainy. It's not smooth like some. That may or may not help it seal better. I don't know. But it's a little grainy. Nonetheless, it's made true. It's ready to be installed. As you can see, I have it on this cardboard. I'm going to flip it over, clean the top side off so that it's ready to mate with the cam cover. Easier to do that when it's out of the vehicle. And then double check the valve seats and put coolant in there. Make sure those valves are still sealing properly. Then I'll bolt it to the block. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.